Patriots win over the Buffalo Bills 26-13, and the Tennessee Titans losing as well to the Houston Texans. The Tennessee Titans now officially have the first overall pick, and you're seeing the draft board as of right now on Pro Football Focus. Looking at least the top five, so we have Titans 1, Browns 2, Giants 3, Patriots 4, fall away to 4, I should say, and Jaguars 5. So now the question becomes, what do the Tennessee Titans do with the first overall pick? There's multiple avenues they can go to. First one, of course, is Travis Hunter, best player in this year's draft on many people's boards overall as the number one player. They can go the quarterback route, and they can go the trade route of trading down with whoever that may be, with the Giants or the Raiders or whoever that may come in the mix. At least for the quarterback aspect, I don't know if there would be teams that would trade up for Travis Hunter. That could certainly be a possibility. But very two of these are the top two teams you would expect, and what the haul they would get in return. So firstly, let's look at the Titans situation. They finished the season, if I can pull this up real quick, 3-14, and had a disappointing season without a doubt. The biggest disappointment was Will Levis. He took a huge step back in this year, whether it was this is who he was to the start, or teams just didn't have enough tape to see the tendencies, the bad problems that he had, the issues, or he just legitimately just took a step back. He looked great his rookie year, and then it just fell apart after that. Whatever you may want to pinpoint, he had a huge disappointing season. He entered the year with 63.1 completion percentage, just over 2,000 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And for rushing, I don't know if he has too much on that. No, it doesn't look like he really has anything for the running game aspect. So again, a huge disappointment. First overall, Tennessee Titans aren't that far off familiar from it. Back from 2016, they did have the first overall pick, which they traded to the Los Angeles Rams. That was the Jared Goff draft. And now they're in a similar instance with this, without the supposed franchise quarterback they had. Of course, the year prior, in 2015, they drafted Marcus Mariota second overall. So let's look at the quarterbacks real quick, and frankly, let's look at what they have available to them. So they have everyone, obviously, with their first overall pick at their disposal. They have Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Those are the top two quarterbacks in this year's draft class. And it's very iffy of if these guys are worth the first overall pick. If they get taken that high, are they even worth a first-round grade to begin with? There's reports about at least Shedeur Sanders. Some anonymous scouts or GMs don't have him or don't view him as a first-round pick. You also look at the aspect with Deion Sanders. He said he's going to really try and put these two guys in great situations to succeed. That's being, of course, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. So there's the other aspect of even if Tennessee won the draft, Sanders or Hunter, is Deion Sanders going to allow that? Are they going to come out in front and say, we're not playing Tennessee, you're going to have to pick someone else? Luckily to their case, if they do want to go that route, they have Cam Ward available first overall. But again, after that is pretty sharp decline of quality of quarterbacks. Maybe you can get a diamond in the rough later. Who knows who can pan out? We'll see. But very weak quarterback class. So you have that option if they wanted to go that route and they just cannot stand Will Levis. I think we can admit that these two guys are a better prospect than Will Levis. Do they have a lot of things to get better on and to learn? Absolutely. Just like any quarterback coming out, there's definitely a huge room for improvement. But I think as a prospect right now, and even like with Will Levis having NFL experience, I think we can pretty much confidently say that one of these two guys would be a better option, would be an upgrade over Will Levis. No doubt about that. And also for the trade aspect, we're going to look at that. Even if they wanted to do trade back in this year's draft class, what that's going to be, we'll quickly look at the quarterback trades as well as the non-quarterback trades. The first two, which are going to be very unlikely, so we can kind of throw this out the window. You see what they've given up here. Back in 2023 for the Panthers to move up to first overall, they get 2 first-round picks, DJ Moore, a second, and 2 seconds in return for the first overall pick. They're not going to get that return for this year's draft class. I'd be very shocked if they did. Even if you're a needy team for the Raiders or the Giants, that's a big haul. No question about that. If they added in like a wide receiver, whoever it may be, or if not, just more draft picks in total, won't be too much. Especially for the Giants, I don't see that trade value coming into play. Maybe for the the Raiders because of them just being farther down on draft board, going from 1 to 7. A little bit, definitely a good step back for the Tennessee Titans in their perspective. I think one maybe a little bit closer, at least to the Giants' standpoint, is Atlanta and San Diego in 2001. The Chargers did receive a wide receiver in return, and Tim Dwight, a first-round pick, a third-round pick, and a 2002 second-round pick to move up from 5 to 1. And you look at the Giants' course, 3 to 1. Maybe that's a similar instance. The wide receiver aspect, again, I don't think that would happen. They would definitely certainly not get rid of Malik Neighbors, of course. So it might be another added pick in as well, or maybe a decent type of player with it. So you do have that aspect. That seems a little bit more likely for the Giants' perspective. They want to move up to first overall. And then if you look at teams that maybe want to trade up for Travis Hunter, you have to go all the way back to 1997 when Orlando Pace was in the draft and he was the first overall pick. The Jets had the selection, and the Rams trade up to that. They gave up a first round pick in 97, a third round pick, a fourth round pick, and also a seventh round pick as well to move up from 6 to 1. So a little bit closer to the Raiders side of it, but remember, we're talking about an offensive lineman, not a quarterback. And even go back to 1995, 2 years prior to 97, you have the Bengals move up to first overall from 5 to 1. They give up their first overall pick, the fifth overall pick in that year, as well as a second round pick. So that I do not see that happening. Just 2 picks to move up. I do not see that happening at all. So that's, you can throw out the window. The most likely trade scenario that the Titans might get is probably 2001. It's not going to be a huge haul, and again, part of it too is just where the placement is of the teams, as well as the quarterback class. So that is definitely something to take into account if you want to trade it back, and you're hoping for a huge haul like 2023 or 2016. It's probably not going to happen. It's going to be maybe closer to 2001, maybe a little bit more pieces added to it to 01 to look at it, but definitely not these two. Unfortunately, you don't have that undisputed, no doubt first overall pick player. You don't have that. Now you do have it in this year's draft, but it's not a quarterback. And that's where it comes down to Travis Hunter. Would people move up that high to get him? Again, for that too, it's smart. Even if you were a big Travis Hunter fan, it's ridiculous. It would be ridiculous to give all this capital to get a player like that, even though he is special. No question about it. To give up that much, you only do that necessary for a quarterback that's going to be there for, you would hope, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years in your franchise. So what do I think is the right option? Again, there's many ways to go into this. I think they should stay put and take Travis Hunter. What I wrote on here is I don't think we should automatically believe that the Titans will take a quarterback first overall. Yes, Will Levis is not a franchise quarterback, but you can stick with him for one more year and wait for a better quarterback class in 2026. Take a potential generational player in Travis Hunter, and he's been that in college for the last couple of years. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He is versatile on both sides of the ball and can play at a high level on both sides as well. He's electrifying. He's explosive. He's a playmaker. And he's a difference maker. And dare I say, again, potential generational type of player. In terms of the aspect of a player getting drafted highly and playing a similar set like this is Charles Woodson in the late 90s. So you have a similar instance of this, of a modern day Charles Woodson, if you want to call it. And if he pans out to be that way, or maybe if you want to hope Deion Sanders, but at the very least, if you want to shoot for Charles Woodson, that's absolutely phenomenal. And that's something the Tennessee Titans desperately need. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, it's a slam dunk, he's going to be one of those two guys. But if he has the potential and the capability of that, absolutely, you need to take him. And you worry about the quarterback later. If you can have Travis Hunter this year and take a quarterback next year, if you're bad, again, starting Will Levis, and you have a horrible season, you're in the top 3, top 5, whatever it may be, take a quarterback there, or maybe there, say you're the first overall pick once again, and you take Archie Manning or whoever is at the spot at that point. And he pans out too. That's unbelievable to get your franchise guy in 2026 and have a non-quarterback difference maker in Travis Hunter. Those players do not come around often, at least in my opinion. And it's to me, it's a slam dunk, no question. You should take Travis Hunter. Now, again, going back to the Deion Sanders standpoint, would he be okay with Hunter going to Tennessee? That is also an issue of itself. But if he's fine with it, as ridiculous as it sounds, having a college coach influence where the players are going to go, yes, Travis Hunter to me is no question the best player in this draft in this draft class. No one disputes that, and he should certainly be the first overall pick for the Tennessee Titans. I do not see, again, for the trade value, I do not see a huge haul that they're going to be getting in return that would make you really think like, okay, like, we can take a step back. We'll lose out maybe on Travis Hunter in that process if you trade for the Raiders, but we can get definitely a great player at 8th overall and worry about the quarterback next year and build around them. So when the quarterback comes out next year, if you want to go that route, you have a much better team built around him as opposed to Travis Hunter. But then again, it's Travis Hunter. Travis Hunters don't come around that often in terms of what he can do, and that should be taken in for in an account. The Tennessee Titans need to just focus in on Hunter and take him. It's a slam dunk, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself over and over again with this, but it should be easy. It should be kind of common sense, at least from how I view it, that you take a potential generational type of player, a huge difference maker, that he's going to be on the defensive side of the ball, and I do think he will play corner for the most part, and you can sprinkle in the offense. You give him a few catches a game. Don't have obviously the high volume he did in college. That's unrealistic at the NFL level. But have him run a few routes, have him get a few catches. Have him make a spark on that offense when you're kind of lacking that talent. You do have Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, but you need something else. You need something else to spark that side of the ball and to be to make this offense take another step forward. For if that's gonna be Will Levis next year, if you decide to take him, or if you're worrying about a quarterback next year in 2026, who you're gonna be drafting for your next hopefully potential franchise quarterback. So it should be no question Travis Hunter, unless the value, I guess what I said to JJ McCarthy in my video, unless the trade value is just ridiculous, it's something you just can't pass up. Stay put at 1 and take Travis Hunter. Or if you really just don't like Will Levis and you just can't stand him, you just don't see him panning out, he's not your guy, then go the quarterback route. And again, it's considered a weak quarterback class, but if you're in love with one of these two guys as your franchise guys, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, I do see the reason why that people would like him as their guy, as their quarterbacks, then take them. So I think this is definitely not a lose-lose situation. I think they're in the perfect spot here. You're getting a potential difference maker of how I would run it in Travis Hunter, and I will wait till next year to get your franchise quarterback. Or again, if you can't wait, you get a Shedeur Sanders, and that would bring life to Tennessee as well. It would bring a huge attraction with Shedeur Sanders, and I think it would certainly as well point Tennessee in a much better direction. And what I said earlier, we can no doubt say that Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward is a better quarterback prospect coming out than Will Levis, no question about it. But please, for Tennessee Titans, do not miss on this. Take Travis Hunter. You won't regret it. He will change wonders for you in that franchise, and he will help you get back to what you want to be. Into a couple of years ago, the first seed in the playoffs. Consistently, I should say, for that. But please don't pass on Travis Hunter. He is very few and far, these type of guys. Do not mess up on this. Take him, and you won't regret it.